Welcome to the Bayonets Countdown to November, a series of interviews with the candidates in the November 4th general election, and of course in early voting, which is the week before. I'm Dick Myers. With me for this segment is Republican candidate for St. Mary's County Treasurer, Christy Kelly. Her opponents are Democrat Kerry Swartz and Independent Steve Geller. Nice to have you here today.
Thank you.
This is a really interesting race for St. Mary's Countyans because, except for the people that know you personally, there's probably a lot of people that know any of the three candidates because none of you have ever run for public office before. So this is a kind of get-to-know session for a lot of people, and we'll treat it that way in this interview as well. So I guess the first and obvious question would be for you to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your background, your experience, just a little resume.
Okay, well, I moved to St. Mary's County in 1986 after I had exited the Naval Intelligence Community in Washington, D.C. I've had the privilege of working as a salesperson. I've been a bookkeeper, a manager of a printing company. I've also, I'm presently a merchandiser in the area. And in the 28 years, I've found lots of organizations that I've volunteered with. I've been a Meals on Wheels volunteer for 19 years. I've been a church treasurer, a benevolence committee member. I've worked as a in different organizations as an events coordinator type of things. And I've also had the privilege of being a foster parent to 26 children in St. Mary's County.
Oh, wow. So the treasurer announced her retirement, and it kind of caught people by surprise. And for a while, there were no candidates, and all of a sudden, at the last minute, there were three. What made you decide to jump into the race?
Well, I think it's a good match for me. Personally, I have a lot of passion for accountability and fiscal responsibility within organizations, whether they're in the county or in private enterprise or different civic organizations. And having been a church treasurer and been involved in many different organizations, I believe that remaining transparent and keeping things above board is very important. And I'd like to see that continue. Jan's done a very good job of that. We've had many different, as far as jumping into the race, I had the opportunity to speak with her in February before I decided to declare my candidacy. And I went to her office, and she went through the office and showed me some of her computer systems and an audit or two, and we walked through the office and I met the different staff, and it seems like a very pleasant place, and they have a really great reputation throughout St. Mary's County, and I'd like to be a part of that.
So there's no resume that's required for the office. You don't need to have a CPA. You don't need to be an accountant. Anybody could file. So how important is it to have at least a working knowledge of accounting, and balancing that with, well, what's the political aspect of the job? How political is it versus how much of it is just a day-to-day grunt job, so to speak?
Well, I like to look at it as more of customer service, customer relations, as opposed to grunt job. There is work that needs to be done. I have a bit of one, and certainly there's 2 times of the year when that office, and that's when the tax bills. But in the accounting experience, you definitely, that it's a day-to-day accounting type of position. You are reconciling numbers. You're finding the mistakes, the errors, the things that need to be fixed, hopefully before anybody else finds them. And they would be, it's a daily process over there. It's all about the money, how we bring the money into St. Mary's County.
And you've done that in your volunteer jobs?
I have not, and I'm not going to say I have, because it's a very large number. $200 million is a lot of money, and I've not had the privilege of working with that type of money.
I didn't mean that so much that much, but that kind of work.
Oh yes, I've experienced that before.
So there's a couple of issues that have been raised by one of your opponents in the race, relating to your husband Bob, who is the director of Emergency Management and Information Technology for St. Mary's County. I think that's exactly the proper title. And one of the issues is that the Treasurer's Office is going through a transition in its accounting system, its automation system, and I guess Bob would be in charge of that. So is there any potential conflict in that you can see?
No, I don't see any potential conflict in that. There's there's some other examples within county government of husbands and wives that both are one elected official and the other one is a public servant employee over at county government. And the standard operating way of handling that would be is if there possibly could be some conflict of interest, it goes to the county administrator. And then from the county administrator's point of view, they determine how that will be handled next.
Now, there's been talk in the past, there's been discussion in the past about whether this office should be an elected office. There were some counties, I believe Charles County is one, in which it's an appointed position, it's under county government, it would be just like any other department of county government. So do you feel, the allegation has been brought up that since your husband works for county government, that this is your first step in trying to bring it within county government and remove it from being an elected position. So I'd like you to respond to that as well.
You know, as far as bringing it into a county office, you mean as a department head,
Yeah.
as opposed to being elected office?
Yes.
I don't know that there'd be any advantage to the county to do that. There wouldn't, obviously there wouldn't have to be an election in that, but they hold elections every year, so there wouldn't be any money-saving aspect to it. There wouldn't.
You'd have to have a department head regardless, and you're the department
They're
head.
going to be paying somebody to do that job, whether it's an elected official or a county employee. And I don't see any advantage either way. I do know that I spoke with George Sparling, our county attorney, and he mentioned that there is only 7 counties, I believe, left in the state of Maryland that do have an elected official as the county treasurer. But I don't believe that issue's come up in many years.
Hasn't come up recently. It has in the past. But
yeah, I think Johnny Wood tried to do something a long time ago, but as a delegate, but I don't think it went very far.
But this isn't your agenda.
Oh, no. I mean, I've not been in the office personally as the elected official, but as a citizen, I don't see any advantage to that.
It's been brought out that the reason why the people who worked in the office didn't run is because less. So I guess if there was a county department head, they probably would be making more than what a county treasurer would be making.
I believe that would be the case.
So the question has also arisen about allowing taxpayers to pay by credit card. What do you think about that?
Well, the research that I've done, I've looked at all the counties' websites in the entire state of Maryland, and St. Mary's County is one of 2 counties that doesn't offer online access to your bills and online payment via credit card or electronic transfer. So all the other counties do offer that, and it is a service that people expect in this day and age. However, every one of the counties, hands down, that offers it associates a fee to that, anywhere from 2% to I've seen 6% in the different counties. So I believe that it is a service that can be offered very readily in St. Mary's County, just alongside all the other counties.
The fee is paid by the taxpayer to cover the cost of the...
Yes. And most of the websites that I was able to read on, they all said that the county does not take any of that cut. So
what are the other counties finding in terms of participation in in the use of credit cards? Is it heavy or not so?
I did not trouble all the treasurers in all the different counties. I just was looking at their websites.
Okay.
So
the new system that will go into effect January 1st, will that accommodate credit cards if necessary? If it's decided?
It is a service that the county would have to enroll in. There's a few different type of services. There's official payments that the IRS uses, or there's Munis Pay. There's many different options that are available. If you go through the different websites, you can see that. And some of the counties also do in-house processing of their own credit cards. But the fee is put onto the tax bill, or added additional to the tax bill.
One of the things that's not clear to me, so maybe it's not clear to the general public, you collect the money. Do you also invest it, or does that just go right over to the county?
No, this is not a tax office that does the investing.
So you collect it and then you pass it on, and that's it?
Yes, Jan Norris had told me in February that it is a daily process. The money is transferred, the money that is collected is daily sent over to the finance department, and then Elaine Kramer and her department is the one who's responsible for the distribution to the budget that the county commissioners have set up.
Now, I understand there's no voicemail at the treasurer's office, and the current treasurer says she wants her people to talk to taxpayers directly instead of having them leave a message. What do you think about that?
I believe that voicemail is a part of our lives in 2014, and that people do prefer to speak to a person. However, if they do have to leave a voicemail, they do expect to get a response rather quickly. So yes, I think it should be a part of the office, but that doesn't negate answering the phone. It still needs to happen. I've been in offices where nobody's still answering the phones, so they're just returning calls.
I would imagine during certain times of the year it's pretty busy, like when people get their bills all at one time.
And a lot of people will roll into voicemail at that point. Yeah.
So this is a political office. We mentioned that earlier. Do you like the politics part of it? I mean, in addition to being in an office, I assume that there is some responsibility to be out in the public and be representing the treasurer's office at functions and events and that kind of thing. Is that something you're up to?
I am surprised how much I enjoy it. I have really enjoyed being on the campaign trail and going out and meeting people and being involved in the community events that are going on. I have to say that I'm surprised how many people are involved in different nonprofit organizations throughout the county, and I'm very happy and proud to be a part of that, and I would love to continue to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about your husband. I guess this is a question that gets asked of women, so I apologize that I ask it, but do you have any children, and are they in school? And tell us about them.
I have 5 children.
5?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest is 23, and my youngest is 10 years of age, and I have 3 that are completed with the public school system, and the other 2 are still in school.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate, I guess, that there haven't been any public debates in this race. I guess it's a little bit difficult to get out the word. Are you one of those that's doing the door-to-door knocking? How are you campaigning? How's this working for you?
Well, since I believe my materials came in the beginning of April, and since the beginning of April, I have personally knocked on doors, handed out my business cards and literature, and put up my signs in people's yards that were allowing me to put them up in. I have been the one to do that. There's been very little resistance. I've met great people all throughout the county. Over and over, people have said, "You're the first person who's knocked on my door." Yeah, this is great, thank you. And then we talk about the situations in the county and things that they have concerns about. It's been very fun.
I see your sign on the side of a car every morning when I pull into the parking lot, because apparently there's someone that works in this office complex that's one of your supporters. Are there opportunities for people to be involved in the 10 days that are left in the campaign?
Yes, please go to my website at christykelly.com, and there is a response page there where anybody who'd like to be involved is more than welcome to join in and help out with the campaign.
Okay. Do you have a Facebook page too?
Yes, I do.
It's just
Christy Kelly. Yes. You can also reach it through christykelly.com. There's a link there.
Is Kelly spelled with Kelly or Kelley? People need to know that probably.
Only one E.
One E. Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
It's been
you.
a real pleasure talking to you. We wish you the best of luck, and we really encourage everyone, since these are 3 candidates that have never run before, to really become knowledgeable about all 3 of the candidates before you make a decision. That's always important for every race, but I think more so in this race. Thank you for joining us in this segment of Countdown to November.